Episode 2, August 1, 1925. Entrance into the convent. From the age of 7, I experienced the definite call of God, the grace of a vision to the religious life. It was in the 7th year of my life, for the first time, I heard God's voice in my soul, an invitation to a more perfect life. But I was not always obedient to the call of grace. I came across no one who would have explained these things to me. In the 18th year of my life, an earnest appeal to my parents for permission to enter the convent, but my parents refused it. After this refusal, I turned myself over to the vain things of life, paying no attention to the call of grace, although my soul found no attention and no satisfaction in any of these things. The incessant call of grace caused me much anguish. I tried, however, to stifle with amusements. Interiorly, I shunned God, turning with all my heart to creatures. However, God's grace won out in my soul. Once I was at a dance with one of my sisters. While everybody was having a good time, my soul was experiencing deep torments. As I began to dance, I suddenly saw Jesus at my side. Jesus, racked with pain, stripped off his clothing, all covered with wounds, who spoke these words to me: "How long shall I put up with you? And how long will you keep putting me off?" At that moment, the charming music stopped. The company I was with vanished from my sight. There remained Jesus and I. I took a seat by my dear sister, pretending to have a headache in order to cover up what took place in my soul. After a while, I slipped out unnoticed, leaving my sister and all my companions behind, and made my way to the cathedral of Saint Stanislaus Kostka. It was almost twilight. There were only a few people in the cathedral, paying no attention to what was happening around me. I fell prostrate before the Blessed Sacrament and begged the Lord to be good enough to give me to understand what I should do next. Then I heard these words: "Go at once to Warsaw. You will enter a convent there." I rose from prayer, came home, and took care of things that needed to be settled. As best as I could, I confided to my sister what took place within my soul. I told her to say goodbye to our parents, and thus, in my one dress with no other belonging, I arrived in Warsaw. When I got off the train and saw that all were going their separate ways, I was overcome with fear. What am I to do? To whom should I turn, as I know no one? So I said to Mother of God, "Mary, lead me, guide me." Immediately, I heard these words within me telling me to leave the town and go to a certain nearby village where I would find a safe lodging for the night. I did so and found everything was just as Mother of God told me. Very early the next day, I rode back into the city and entered the first church I saw, that is St. James Church in Ochota at Warsaw. There I began to pray to know further the will of God. Holy Masses were being celebrated one after another. During one of them, I heard these words: "Go to that priest and tell him everything. He will tell you what to do next." After the Mass, I went to the sacristy. I told the priest all that had taken place in my soul, and I asked him to advise me where to take the veil, in which religious order. The priest was surprised at first, but told me to have strong confidence that God would provide for my future. For the time being, he said, I shall send you to a pious lady named Aldona, with whom you will stay until you enter a convent. When I called on this lady, she received me very kindly. During the time I stayed with her, I was looking for a convent, but whatever convent door I knocked, I was turned away. And I said to the Lord Jesus, help me, don't leave me alone. At last I knocked on our door. When Mother Superior, the present Mother General, Michael, came out to see me, she told me, after a short conversation, to go to the lord of the house and ask whether he would accept me. I understood at once that I was to ask this of the Lord Jesus. With great joy, I went to the chapel and asked Jesus, Lord of this house, do you accept me? This is how one of these sisters told me to put the questions to you. Immediately I heard this voice. I do accept. You are in my heart. When I returned from the chapel, Mother Superior asked first this question. Well, has the Lord accepted you? I answered, yes. If the Lord has accepted, then I also will accept you. This is how I was accepted. However, for many reasons, I still had to remain in the world for more than a year with that pious woman named Aldona. But I did not go back home to my own house.